Hello and welcome to Birmingham Cameras Online. I'm Jules Coll. We are at the lovely Fitzwilliam Hotel in Dublin today and we are talking all things Panasonic. Now it's been an incredible training day. I'm joined by Damien Demolder. Damien, how did you get on today?
Well, I think it went pretty well. What I like is when people turn up and they've never used Lumix kit before, they've never done any street photography before, and by the end of the day they're confident and they're amazed at what they've done because the cameras help them. All things that they felt they couldn't do and they were scared to do at the beginning, and at the end they're full of confidence and they're enjoying their photography more. That's what I really want people to have more fun taking pictures.
So today's event was exclusively for Birmingham Cameras Panasonic users, and we had all ranges from the beginners to some people who do it professionally. One of the big things that I learned was about the incredible specs when it comes to autofocus on Panasonic cameras. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, one of the main things is the cameras are very quick to focus, and that's really important for street photography because it's got to happen like that. But more than that, it's the flexibility of the AF points. You can touch the back screen to move the AF point wherever you like. And I think that's the thing that people are really surprised at, because they're used to doing that on their phone, but don't expect a proper camera to have that kind of a feature. And the cameras also have something called touch shutter, and you just touch someone's face on the back screen, it focuses and shoots them at the same time. So obviously that means operating is really, really fast. And it takes no time at all to shoot. All you have to do is just react quickly and touch the person's face.
We covered a vast array of topics, photography and everything. One of the big things that I found interesting was street photography. Now, it was my first experience of it today, and before I was so fearful because I was afraid of taking people's photograph and afraid that people would say, "Hey, what are you doing? Take my picture." That fear is now gone. So can you give us your top tips for street photography for people who are watching out there?
Well, if you're a bit frightened of taking pictures in the street, which is normal, quite normal to be a little bit anxious about that sort of thing, because we do think that people are going to react very badly if they catch us taking their picture. And the truth is, most people don't even notice. Try to blend in as well. Don't go out with a high-vis jacket or a suit and a big camera, then you look very official. So I just try to dress comfortably and normally, have a big green coat, and the small cameras really help. Things like this GH9, it's tiny, so you can hold it in your hand, you can put it in your pocket, so you don't look like a photographer. So try not to be obvious about what you're doing.
So we spent the first half of the day in the classroom and going through all the practical side of things, and then we went outside into the big bad streets of Dublin. Bring us through what we went looking at contrast and light and things like that first of all before we actually got out and started photographing people. What was that experience that we went through there?
Well, what I like to do is before we go out and shoot, you have to practice the basics. So what we were doing is looking at light. Seeing light for the first time. It sounds stupid, doesn't it? Because we all see light, we all understand we see light every day, but we don't really pay any attention to it because we're so used to seeing it. And we also looked at how cameras interpret the light, how they get exposure wrong generally, and how we need to step in to use our brains and our eyes to try to work out where the cameras are going to get it wrong, and how we want to use the light to create a picture that's not necessarily technically correct, but one that looks artistically beautiful and exciting.
So you've brought along some Panasonic cameras to show us today, some nice gems. These are all new to the range, so what do you want to show us first?
Well, we should show you this one first. This is the new GX9. It usually has a lens on, so let's just put my favourite lens on it. What's special about this is that it's small, and it's very light, and it's very easy to use. That goes in my pocket. And nobody knows I'm a photographer because I'm just some old tramp walking around with a big coat and this in my pocket. It's very quick, it's got a nice flip-up screen, so it's very easy to do low-down pictures from a low angle. It's got this flip-up viewfinder as well, so you can shoot down like that. I like it because it's fast, as I've said. The touchscreen reacts incredibly quickly. So if I'm in a close combat situation and someone's walking towards me, just touching the back screen like that makes it take the picture instantly. If you prefer something that looks a bit more professional, here's the G9 bumpy top. This is the premium top-end stills camera, and it's got loads of additional features. Its screen flips out to the side, so it's good for low-angle stuff as well, but upright, low-angle pictures are good. It's also very, very quick. The AF is super fast inside it. Everything reacts very quickly. And it's got this bigger grip. So with the GX9, you can fit big lenses on there, and it's okay, it works. This one has got a bigger grip, so it's easier to hold them. So there's a new 200mm lens, there's a 50 to 200mm lens, which are quite big. So you want something with a bigger grip so it's easier to hold. And it's got this joystick control on the back here, which makes moving your AF point easier when your eyes to the viewfinder. Even though it's the stills camera, it also shoots great video.
And also all the Panasonic cameras have silent mode, which is superb for street photography, isn't that right?
Yes, they do. They're completely silent, which is brilliant.
And what's the third and final model you've brought to show us?
Here is the GH5S, which is the new top-end video model. It's only got 10 million pixels, but we don't need more than that really for video. It's fantastic 4K video. If you're a professional videographer, then this is probably the camera that you need. It's got a multi-aspect sensor, which means the sensor is actually bigger than these other ones, so that if you shoot 16:9, as you would for most video stuff, when your wide lens is on, and it just uses a bit more of the width of the sensor. So you get loads and loads of resolution, whichever way you're shooting, but primarily you keep the focal length of your lens. The other thing that's really important about this camera is it's brilliant in low light. It's got dual native ISO settings. So if you're out on a day like today where it's quite bright, it will use its lower native ISO setting. And when you go out at night, that's a bit dark. It switches the ISO up to 2500 ISO, and that's the native ISO in dark conditions. So you get pictures with very little noise. So it's really cool for low light stuff. Really, really good. Nice camera too.
Let's talk lenses. What have you brought to show us?
Well, I brought you some of my favourites. This is the Leica 25mm. It's a 1.4 lens there. It's 25mm on Micro Four Thirds is like a 50mm on a full frame camera. So that's a standard lens. This lens gives you that perspective, but it's a 1.4 aperture lens. So you can shoot very wide open, and you get great separation between the subject and the background. So your subject will be sharp and the background will be out of focus. And it's fantastic, and that comes with me everywhere I go. And I can put that on, and it's still on in the evening, and I haven't taken it off.
Your ultimate lens.
This is my favourite lens. This is also one of my favourite lenses. I have quite a number of favourite lenses. This is the 42.5mm f1.2.
Okay.
So, and listen, clicky apertures. Again, what's special about this lens is you can use it wide open, f1.2, and it's dead sharp in the middle and at the edges, which is amazing. And it gives you an incredible out of focus background, which makes your subject stand out beautifully. So those are my favourites.
Well, Damien, you are a wealth of knowledge on all things Panasonic. Thank you for everything that you have taught us today. It's been a wonderful, fun day, and hope you're going to have a few pints now tonight, maybe?
I might do. Lime and sodas mostly.
Okay, well, thanks for everything today. If you would like to know more about the Panasonic range, just drop into us in store or check out our website, birminghamcameras.ie. I'm Jules Coll, keeping things in focus for Birmingham Cameras.